We live in a digital world where anyone can play the role of fashion editor online. Anyone can write a Substack article about the runway shows that are posted on Vogue. So, how can we tell who has great taste and how can we develop great taste within ourselves? Hey guys, Happy New Year and welcome back to my channel. I have been thinking so long and hard about how to make this video, how to talk about it in a way that makes sense. A lot of people like to think that great taste is subjective. Great taste is not as subjective as a lot of people seem to think it is. The nature of excellence is objective. Excellence is something that requires practiced technique. It has a lot of nuance in it. If you're looking at something and you can't see the moving parts behind how it works, and it's beautiful and seamless and effortless, and it evokes a lot of emotion in people all around you and within yourself, that is a sign that you are experiencing excellence. There is a lot of raw human emotion in very high levels of excellence. So for example, if you're ever in the same stadium as a very high level professional sports event that's happening, even if you don't understand what's going on, even if you don't know the rules, you've never played the sport in your life, you can feel the emotion going behind what is happening out there, the raw energy behind what is happening from both athletes, from all the people around you who are so invested in what is going on. And the reason you can feel that is because what is happening before you is of a caliber of excellence that is unlike anything else in the world. You can see this in museums when you go and see famous paintings that have stood the test of time. There is architecture where this is evident. If you look at the Sistine Chapel or any of those Renaissance era buildings in Rome and in Italy and other parts of Italy, even in Paris and Greece, India, Japan, various countries and cultures around the world. Classic literature, the way those words have been able to convey the deepest, most universal meanings that still resonate with people hundreds of years later, even though they live in a completely different time under completely different contexts. Fashion shows, you can see this in fashion shows as well. If you look at the Maison Margiela Couture show from spring 2024, the theatrical Karl Lagerfeld shows from the 90s, or really most of the 90s runway shows were very, very good about this. So now that we've established that excellence is objective, let's talk about how you can develop your own unique, excellent taste from scratch. Your taste is an amalgamation of all of your personal preferences. So if you're someone who always has to be told what to like or what to gravitate towards, this is gonna be a really introspective kind of exercise for you. You need to get really comfortable with what you like, and you have to be courageous enough to like this even if other people don't. A great way to kind of remind yourself of this, if maybe you've been a little bit too caught up in mainstream for too long, think back to what you used to love when you were a child. Children are very, very good at identifying things that they like. Revisit those movies, revisit those TV shows, revisit anything in your childhood that brought you a sense of peace, and pay attention to the characteristics of those things. Start looking at art. It doesn't have to be good art. It just has to be art that you like. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be Picasso. You don't have to sit here and pretend that you like looking at Starry Night, but look at things in different mediums, art in different mediums. So paintings, books, cinema, fashion. Fashion is another good one. Pinterest specifically is a great one. Make Pinterest boards, but you cannot rely on an algorithm. This is the most important part. The human touch is really important for curating excellent taste. So when you're putting things in these Pinterest boards and you're looking to group aesthetically things that you like, You cannot just rely on Pinterest's algorithm. Go to Twitter. I like Twitter for this personally because there are accounts that post their own mood boards from their Pinterests. Check Twitter, check TikTok, check just the regular internet. Find things that you like, add them to your Pinterest board from there. And then once you have that human touch in your Pinterest board, it will help you get a better idea of what your taste actually is. This next part is the hard part. You have to understand the nuances that all of these different things across all of these different mediums share. So if you look at the Pinterest pictures that you have, and then you have like your favorite movie, and then your favorite book, and then like your favorite childhood stuffed animal, what do all of these things have in common? That's really hard to figure out at first, but over time, as you start paying attention to what you like, the things that you like, the smells that you like, the colors that you like, the textures that you like, you will see all of these preferences show up in real life as individual things. So you will look at something and you may not like anything in that picture, but you will notice the texture of the color of the bird's feathers in the painting, or you will notice one specific bead in a bracelet in a shop window, and you will know that that is for you. Not the bracelet itself, just that specific bead in the bracelet. And as soon as you start seeing that in isolated forms, you are well on your way to your own personal taste. Okay, so now you have taste. You have a preference. You have an opinion. How do we make that opinion good? How do we have good taste? Good taste is putting together all of your preferences in a coherent and beautiful way. So now you have to be the artist yourself. You have to be able to take the color of the bird's feathers in the painting and take that one bead from the bracelet and take the color of your favorite childhood stuffed animal and take the outfit from the main character in your favorite movie when you were a kid and put that all together into an outfit that you are putting on before walking out the door, before leaving the house. That's not an easy thing to do. It does take some time. Being able to take something from one medium to another requires you to get a more thorough understanding of how all of the working parts behind that medium works. For example, in fashion, fashion is dictated by color, texture, and silhouette for the most part. So color is obviously the colors that make you the happiest, the colors that look the best on you, the colors that you maybe like to wear during certain seasons and maybe prefer to wear other colors in other seasons. Obviously, the texture is the fabric, maybe fur or linen, and obviously the season is going to play into this because you want whatever you're wearing to be comfortable. And then the silhouette, do you like things to fit very tightly? Do you like things to fit very loose? You know, all of these things are going to have meaning for you based on your personal preferences. And the meaning is going to be something that you can take to your preferences outside of fashion as well. So if the ocean is your favorite place to be because you love looking at the water and it makes you feel very calm, that color, that sparkly color of the ocean when the sun hits it, that blue glittery color, you could easily take that blue glittery color and put it into a blue sequined skirt. And you have incorporated your taste across mediums. And the last thing that you can do to take your taste a step further is to look into the origins of these things that you have found a resounding personal preference for. So for example, I'll use myself as an example. I love the French fragrances. It is just one of my favorite things ever. I don't know what it is about the way that they do peony and rose in their fragrances. Even just their drugstore hand creams, I just really gravitate towards them. It's just one of my favorite things. I started shopping at a lot of French stores because I loved the way their clothes fit, the way that they were tailored, and I decided to start learning French just to understand a little bit more about this place that I find so many wonderful things that I gravitate towards. And by learning the language, I am realizing how romantic the language is, how they have their culture has a preference for romance in ways that my culture does not necessarily prioritize as an American. I love being American. I would not give up being American for the world. But I do really appreciate the romanticization that the French have, the romanticizing of the lifestyle that the French love to lean into with the City of Love in Paris and everything like that. So that is just one example of how you can take your taste a step further by going and exploring different cultures that share your tastes in an extremely profound way, and it will add a lot of it will add a lot of depth to your tastes as well. So those are my tips for you. I hope this was helpful. Go out, explore your tastes, and I think that this is a great way to make life worth living. And a lot of people like having good taste so that they can get recognition from others as having good taste, but really the point of good taste is to live life in a beautifully authentic way.